Right, welcome back to part 2 of building the Cornwall Stork Project website with all cool functionality. If you are new and this is the first video you've seen, very much recommend you getting back to part 1 and just watching that. That will bring you up to speed to where I'm about to kick off from. Welcome back for anyone that has watched part 1. Interestingly, right at the end of part 1, you'll see that I was a bit dejected in terms of not dejected, but it was there's a bug and then we had to work our way through, and it hadn't quite finished processing the last request being that one, which is basically, I'm not going to upgrade it, you need to fix it. And so what it kind of did was now when I log into the admin, it won't even let me log in to as a role check timeout. Just got to get used to this. This is be one of those sticking points you hit, and then you'll come back, and once that's fixed, you'll then do another sprint, get loads more functionality, then you'll hit another roadblock. But yeah, we're only 2 hours in, and we built something from nothing. By the end of this, we'll have something that will be working, and then I'll get some feedback from the client. So less than, basically in half a day's worth of work, we're going to have something that's bespoke and functional to the bespoke needs of the individual organization, not some cookie cutter kind of template. Okay, so it looks like it has now okay, so it looks like now it's allowed us back in again. If I now click on news, oh look, now it's populating and it's all being seen from the database. If you look at sightings, same here again, there's some pending, there's some approved and some rejected. That's all worked, which is fantastic. And then events as well are all populating here. So that's a good start to the day. But let's have a look. Proof is in the pudding. Perfect. Look, it's all being populated here, all the sightings. I'm very, very happy with that. So what a good start to this session. Now let's look at what I want to look at. Let's look at this map here. I want to have like a black outline for the whole of Cornwall because I feel like it's important that we get that. So plan on the map of Cornwall, can we have a black outline around basically, again, non-technical, can we have a black outline around Cornwall itself? And I wanted to plan it because I've done this before. I think because it doesn't have that data, I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to have to find it myself, that kind of SVG mapping file of Cornwall. But you never know. think this thing's getting cleverer all the time and then improving it all the time. So it's basically it's identified what needs to be done. It's identified a source for it, which is interesting. I'll go with option 1 using a simple version and it will be fine. Okay, so it thinks it can do it. We want to include the Isles of Scilly? I don't think so. I will make that call, but obviously Jan do option 1. Don't include the Isles of Scilly. I'm not going to do that plan. I'm just going to say Bill because now it's kind of like I've got my plan already. Let's see what happens here. Think about other functionality I'd quite like. I think I want to have the listings listed here, kind of newest to oldest, I think, and some sort of how old the sighting is. Oh, Cornwall, there we go. That is really cool. Happy with that. That just gives that additional context, doesn't it? Which is quite nice. Boosh. Happy. Okay, so then I'm going to take a screenshot of that area and say, with the sightings, I want no, it's pretty obvious already. I want a counter on the cards for how many days old the listing is. I also want an image to be able to be uploaded when reporting a sighting and be displayed on the relevant card if accepted. Use AI. Use images from our database to populate the current listings. Yeah, and you'll see there's a few typos there. It's clever enough to work out what I mean. You could go back and change it, but I would argue it doesn't need to be. Next question. With the pin, would it be able to, could we include a silhouette? Can't spell silhouette, save my life. A silhouette of a stork in the middle to replace the white dot. Oh yeah, days ago now it's been added. That's really cool. I'm assuming we only wanted to display sightings in the last. Okay, I know what I'll do. That's not going to work. They just updated an image there, but that's not going to work. That looks rubbish. It's probably going to work that out for itself. What is that? I can't. That's not going to work, is it? What's that created? Right, okay, fine. Well, let's just let it finish off doing what it's doing. But clearly that is not cool. So we're going to have to either revert it. No, I want to replace the white dot. Basically, I want the pin to be the same color, then have throughout, then overlay a realistic image of a stork in white. Let's give it one more go, then we'll just revert it and move on for the time being. So I'm assuming we only want to have. Do we want to have the most recent 6 sightings listed? Do we want to have? Okay, yeah, okay. That's a better picture. Okay, so I'm trying to think about how many listings we have, assuming that it needs to be current if people want to go and visit them. So shall we say I want to have all listings that are 30 days old or below listed? All sightings, not listings. always keep 6, the most recent 6 listings. Regardless of age. So basically I always want to have something on there. And, you know, during the right season, I guess you're going to have lots of sightings. So that's going to be really cool. But there'll be a down season where, I guess, where you won't see them when they're migrating. So, but you still want to, I suppose, you were going to want to have a map populated with sightings just to track. Make the stork image larger in as large as it can be while still staying in the pin image. That's a lot better than we had before, but still probably I'd say it's too small now. So let's see, hopefully that will solve that problem, and I'll just paste that next prompt back in again. So you see we had that little stoppage towards the end of part 1, and then at the start of part 2, we've now got past that blockage, and now we're cooking with charcoal, and I'm really, really happy with the way this is playing out. The next thing I'm going to do is try and work out the report a sighting process. Let's click it, see what happens. Nothing. Cool. Well, it's been enlarged a bit, but no, it's better than nothing, so stick with that. Okay, I just want to refresh this page because I did ask for the images to display, but they're not being displayed here. Let me see if there's images associated with the listings or the sightings. Approved. Nope. Okay. So let's go back. Add stork images to the approved listings. It's both sighting listings, whatever, you'll get the point. So next question I've got is what will happen, what should happen when I click report a sighting button? It's always interesting. I find it interesting to see what the Lovable's understanding of the functionality I want to achieve is. Okay, so it looks like it's done stock images, but it's not being displayed here. So let's do that. After we've report a sighting button navigates to submit. It doesn't, so let's go back again. Do we need a submit page, or could we do it with a pop-up? What's your advice? So at the moment, there's apparently a / submit page, but doesn't seem to exist currently. Use a pop-up, so okay. It explains why it thinks a pop-up would be better. Just going to go back into admin and see if the pictures are associated with the sightings. Okay. Cool. Ensure the public listing sighting cards also display the images as with the ensure the public sighting cards also display the images associated with submission. I've also sent a screen capture of the area that I'm talking about so that it's very specific. I'm waiting at this point. I don't want to press enter because there might be some follow-up questions here. Oh, the link is not defined. What are you doing? In fact, there's still more work I want to do on this map. So give me a second. Okay, I'm going to leave report a sighting for the time being. I'm going to work back on this again because I want to. First of all, I want the images displayed. Go back and change the display. That's fine. And then I want to, when I click on a card, I want that pin to animate so I can see where it is. Okay, I'm not going to press enter because it's asked me a question. Right, so I want it to backfill the existing sightings with images, basically. I'm going to go So that's the best way to test that everything's working in the back end. That's that done. Let's see if it works. Refresh. There we go. That's cool. I think. Let's see if report sighting now works. There we go. Okay, we're going to work on that in a second. Don't know why it animates from the top left, but I don't think that particularly offends me. Okay, while that's still going on, let's have a look. Report a sighting. Number of birds. Date seen. Click on the map where. Okay, that all works nicely. Postcode optional. Notes optional. File uploads. That all works great. I'll do my own sighting in a second. Once it finishes updating this. I also think we should have the map somewhere quite high up on the main page. I think it just maybe not. Could almost have it here maybe. I think this thing is so important. Anyway. Here we go. So it's almost, now it looks like it, when I now hover over it, now has an interactive box. I'm not going to click on it just yet until it's finished. Now it's finished. If I click that, love it. Oh, that's interesting. There, why is a bit confusing. Which one is it? It's got a churro and it's got like a the pin offset somehow. Oh, what's going on? Okay. It's tried to do something clever when it with UI, it just doesn't work. When I click on the sighting, it zooms in nicely. However, as you can see on the attached image, it offsets sets the pin maybe just make that pin invisible. Let's have a look at the news just to make sure that displays properly. Okay, not bad. We've got to make sure that each news has, in fact. Let's do that next. Let's see what it thinks, actually. Let's do plan. I want to add the sighting map in some form to the home page. Where would be best? I want the user to click on the map to which will then take them to the sighting page. Before I press that, let's make sure this now works. No. Okay. Let's just refresh that and just see what's happening here. No. No, you... I'm just, in fact, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in time just to before that last improvement, because I can't think how I'm best going to describe what they've just broken, this tooltip that disappeared. So I'm just going to restore the previous version. Sometimes it's just easy to do that than trying to unpick what is misunderstood. I've obviously not been clear enough. So I'm going to give it one more go here. Okay. Why have you not reverted? Weird. So even though reverted, it still isn't. Okay, so we know there is a pin in churro. So if I zoom in, it's got that tooltip, which is cool. That's fine. So where's the one in churro? That one. Then the pin moves up here. That's just weird. How do I describe this? When I click on a sighting card, it zooms into the location, but I can't see the tool tip. Or the location of the pin. The actual pin for the location moves quite significantly away from the correct location and starts to animate. Not sure why it's generating a plan. Okay. Okay, that's working, but it's still the same issue. But now I've got like, then I'll see the card, which is better. So when I click on the sighting card, it zooms into location. A tooltip appears. Appears on the exact location of the pin. The actual pin for the location moves quite significantly away from the correct location and starts to animate. It's getting conflated here because I don't really want it to zoom in. All I wanted to do was animate the actual pin. So this is explaining what it thinks, but the pin itself drifts away. Fix, animate a child element inside the marker. Never the marker root. Okay. Okay. I quite like to move on from this now. Oh, yeah, I had that question, didn't I, about... You can control Z basically your way. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, I'd like to add the map to the home page in some form. Ideally, the user would click on the map and it would take them to the sightings page. Thoughts? Let's just see what it does better. Okay, so let's see if this is working any better. There we go, much better. Happy with that. Still feels like the the pin drifts, doesn't it? Let's find out. Let me refresh this page. So, literal sighting. North of the High Street in Truro. Okay. Start reloading, so I'm trying to, it's doing development at the same time. It looks fine then, it's just the animation that I'll have to look into. I can wait till later. Let's see what it's doing on the home page. Yeah, happy with that. Take me to sightings page, that'll do for the time being. Okay, let's report a sighting. That was today. Drop a pin, where was it? Over here, about there. No postcode. Test sighting. Test name. Test email. Okay, okay, so there's no way of clicking. It's not a button, so we've got to try and change that into a button. Copy. Let's just upload a picture. Where's my pictures? Well, let's not do the sighting report yet. Let's just fix that first. The upload button section needs to look like a button when reporting a While that's working, I'm going to try and find a white stork picture. Ah, here it is. Okay, so that looks like it's done. So if I click report a sighting now, that photo upload button now is there. Let's do a sighting now. Test. Upload a photo from my. Go. Hopefully that'll be okay. Test name. Submit a sighting. Failed. See, this is the kind of stuff. This is why we do the testing. So what I normally do here is screenshot the error, paste it into the chat. Error when uploading a sighting report. Now we could add a lot more here, like what 3 words, etc. But at this moment in time, I don't want to. I just want to get that kind of basic functionality working. This is strange. What's this then? Existing rows include version and shape, blah, blah, blah. It's a livable cloud platform issue. Okay. Okay, do egg. So it looks like there's something going on in the livable backend of the database, which is stopping the ability to upload files, which again, when you're in development of these things, it's very much still in the sandbox environment. These things can happen. When it's live, it definitely happens way, way less. Not saying it won't ever happen. So I just want to add a small little error code when that happens. I'm wondering if it's because the file is too large. Just gonna look how big the file is. No, it's a megabyte. Should be fine. Okay, well, let's leave that for the time being. We can always come back to that. All of this is fixable, but I just want to keep moving forward with the time we have available. So now I want to scroll down to look at latest from the project news. Okay, so I want news listings to have images. I want the admin to be able to upload images. Then I want the news. Let's have a look. First baby born. On the home page to auto populate from the DB. So what's happening at the moment, I think this is placeholder content. So I'm hoping that what I've prompted, just put in, will basically add the ability to have images for news, because again, that's more engaging, and then allow the admin to upload images when they create a new news listing, but also make sure that this information on the home page is being brought from the current database, not using placeholder information. Let's do the citing then. I think let's go back here. This should work then, theoretically. I just can't upload a picture. But it's going to keep refreshing because it's doing the development work in the background. So this, I may as well just wait. Okay. Let's just do a citing before I move on, making sure that works. Citing received. So theoretically, if I now go to admin, look at citings, pending, the one from today, that's me, press approve. Okay. Cool, that's not working, which is again the whole point of testing this. Screen capturing that, put it into chat. When I try to approve a stork sighting report, I get this error. So it should happen. Let me just refresh the page. That's not ideal. So when I tried to refresh the admin page, I got this error. Okay, still getting the error. So still getting this error when trying to approve a sighting in the admin dash. Okay, it thinks it's fixed now, so let's refresh. Click approve. Let's see if it's moved across to approve. Yes, it has. And let's go back to the main website. Go to sightings. There's 6 now, so that sounds about right. Here we go. And that's the listing here without the picture because we've been having issues with that. So that's good that that is working. If I click on that, happy with that. Right, did news get fixed? Let's have a look at the home page. First storks returned to Bob and Moore. Let's have a look at if that's what's listed here. First storks returned to Bob and Moore. Okay, so reverse populate the news with images. Oh my goodness, these pictures are going to look freaky. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. Anyway, it will serve the purpose. Okay, so news get involved. What do we want to do next? Well, there's pictures there, all horrific, but I don't know what's going on. I can't. Anyway, that is what it is. I'm not going to mess around with changing that. At least say display, and that's the main thing right now. Right, so I'm now at a point where let's leave that. So what's next in the plan? So I think I'm kind of at a point where I need to know what's the next bit we need to bite off. I'm glad the map's on the homepage. I think it's going to be obviously a key part of this. Server functions for the remaining reads, public approval sightings, blah, 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 blah. Swap the browser. Do 1 and 2, so it looks like it's just some sort of back-end work needs to be done. I think it's always a good idea to allow it to do what stuff it thinks it needs to be done. Now 3, 4, and 5. Again, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. And then look into the origin plan for the website. We should be at stage 3. done donations. We've got the sighting sorted. Maybe it's like the volunteer bit. Okay. Yeah, it's a volunteer sign-up form and management, I think. There you go, volunteer dashboard. Looking into the original plan now. Should have done stage 3. What's next? I can't do the stripe integral yet, as I'm not with the client. What's next? Okay, well, okay. Plan phase 5. Okay, for standalone fundraising campaigns, blah, blah, okay. All the visitor sees, staff sees, admin campaigns tab in the back end. Good, yeah, I really like that. Let's do that. So basically we're creating our own crowdfunding page. The key thing is it's all managed on their own website, which means that they won't have to pay the fees to crowdfunding campaign websites in addition to the Stripe fees as well. So they're saving significant amounts of money having their own kind of campaign management page all managed from their back end. Right, so it looks like the campaign element has been done. So there's a bit in the header here, and also if I scroll down, I think there should be something. In the home page. Nope, that's okay. Cool. So it's in the header. Click on that, and clearly, at the moment, we haven't populated it with any additional information in terms of campaigns yet. So no campaigns are running right now. Come back soon, or support directly on donate. Takes you to the donate page. Really happy with the kind of natural flow. What I've now asked it to do is just do that kind of deep check to make sure this campaigns element has been implemented correctly, and then make sure it's not broken anything else. I also will, at this point, as a follow-up, populate cam data demo data for campaigns. Populate the admin backend with demo data for campaigns. So once it's finished, it's check. It's then going to populate this area. I assume it's not going to have pictures again, which anything like this needs a decent header or hero image with the campaigns, and it'd be interesting to see if it's created like campaign pages. I assume it needs to do or should have done. And then at the end of this, I will unfortunately have to stop, which will be about 3.5 hours into developing this website. Looking at the testing, it's happy. There's a bit more work that needs to be done from SEO and footer perspective. We can do that later. So now I've got it to start populating that sample data. Let's have a look. Yeah. Clearly it's not. So when a new campaign has it will need to create its own page where more information and images will be displayed. So when a user clicks on a campaign card on the campaign page, it will take them to the new page. All the info for the new page needs to be editable in the back end. Obviously, only thing that's missing from this really then is the is also the image as well, but promise I will stop at the end of this one. So it thinks it's already implemented, but it's not. So what would say? So it says that it's already done it, but I say when I click on a card, it does show that it goes to a new URL. However, it still displays the campaigns in page information. See attached image and URL. So it's realized that it's not quite working properly. It's realized that it needs to fix it, but not only has it done that, it's also realized it's a similar issue for news and events. So it's fixing that as well, which is saving me a lot of time. God, I love this. The fact that 404 page, so when there's an error and it can't find a page, they've branded it as well and it says lost on the moor. I just think it's fantastic. The page you're looking for is flown elsewhere. Love it. Okay, let's see if this works again. Sightings, nope. Want to go to campaigns, click on that, nope. 404 error. So I've just taken a screenshot, it says 404, it will know what I mean. I also just wanted to make sure that and the sightings page, is that still working? Good. While I'm here, may as well look at the admin while it's doing some work. There you go, got the campaigns page now.
defending the right to protest, then you're going to want to hear this. Right now, the Parliamentary Committee is leading an independent inquiry into the impact of anti-protest legislation on...
Now, one of the games we're going to be playing at Farm Fest, we're calling battleships. What you do, get a grid like this, release a cow onto it, and then you bet on where it takes its first shit.
I'm going to go G7.
I'm going to go B6. It's really a drinking game. Get a deck chair. You've got yourself a nice pint of Hawkston. There it goes! No, it is H8. The first shit. You don't have to wait long. We've also got music. We've got 10cc. We've got Sophie Ellis-Bextor. We've got Alex James from Blur. He's coming along. We've got food from the Farmer's Dog. We've got beer from Hawkston. We've got Diddley Scott Shop. We've got the Dancing Diggers from JCB. We've got the lot. It's rock and roll farming. We're shitting. If you think about Glastonbury and the Goodwood Festival of Speed, it's not like either of them, because they don't have shitting cows. We do. It's a good game.
Nice. The 2020...
Right, well, I hope that's been useful. About 3 hours and 40 minutes in. You can see where we've got to now. I'm just doing a security check before it goes live to send it across to Jan to get some feedback from him. I'm going to stop it there. Obviously, I've done and then offline we'll go through and do all the security checks before I send it to him. Hope it's useful. See you in part 3.